following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Hey everyone, and welcome to 50 Shades of Bullshit. I'm your host, Christine Lalonde, and this is the podcast where we uncover the truth about online dating. Now let's begin.
Hey everyone, I'm Christine. That's Janice and Jada.
I didn't want to go first. I'm not a regular host, but yes, I'm Janice Formicella. Hello.
And we got Jada in the house. Jada, are you there?
Muted.
Are you mute? Oh, you're muted, girl.
Oh my gosh, sorry.
Classic.
Oh,
I was like, yeah, hey.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, hey. Yeah, this is 50 Shades of Bullshit. Yeah.
That's so funny. Hi, lovely.
Hey, Jada, how's it going?
It's going well. I'm so excited. I've got two of my favorite humans on the face of the planet.
Check us out. Well, we're really excited to have Janice with us this week too.
Thank you.
We've missed you, Janice. We like it when you're on.
Thank you.
So let's catch up real quick before we bring Brittany on. Anything exciting going on in your lives with the dating or with anything happening?
I am 1 month into my breakup, if that's exciting to anybody.
But Janice, you
yes.
look amazing.
I'm feeling
so
great.
Good and so happy, and your skin is
Flawless,
giving life. So,
so
wow.
breakups agree with Janice.
It took me a couple weeks to get here, but yeah, this week has definitely been like, oh my God, I think it's behind me. Wow.
You know what I like about you, Janice? So everyone who's listening, Janice, if you've just started tuning in, she has a podcast called Breakups, Broken Hearts, and Moving On. And it's all about helping you, learn how to recover from a breakup, move on from a breakup, and just grow within yourself. And, when someone like Janice, goes through it herself and she gets through it and she recovers, I think it's great because then it really, people know that you know what you're talking about. You're not just talking out of a book or your ass or anything like that.
Definitely not talking out of a book, nor my ass. But yeah, I was like, what do I do with this? Should I tell people that I'm going through it? And yeah, it felt really good that I did. And also it felt very affirming because I did everything that I talk about with my clients and that I talk about on my show. And I have to say, having like this much progress in just a month, I think that my method works and it feels too. Good. Yeah, thank you. And also just like being proactive about so many things in life, including any type of healing, it will serve you well. I had some rough weeks there. You were both there for me, but I knew it was temporary.
Yeah, that's great. What about you, Jada?
What do I have going on? Business? I mean, always. Business is great. I'm actually at a point to where I don't think I'm going to take on any more new clients for a little bit because I am full, but I also have to focus on the experience and finding love, which for my clients, which is something that's exciting. But my dating life is good. It's thriving. I'm dating similar to you, Janice. I'm going through very similar situations as my clients. So yeah, everything's really good. I
love it.
Yay.
Well, I had a weird thing happen, but this shit happens to me almost on a daily basis. This one just was a little bit more freaky. So if you know, I get random, hey, how are you? Texts from all these weird numbers on the reg. I mean, regularly. My boyfriend Christian teases me constantly about it, but and he doesn't care. He knows who I am. So I get this, and most of them I just say, hey, yeah, I know it has been a very long time. And if you expected me to be single, you're wrong. But this one here was a little too much. And it really made me question about how people perceive boundaries and how they do not accept boundaries. And that's something I think we need to talk about on this show. And I'm going to read these texts to you. Okay. It's pretty short.
Yay!
Pretty
I
simple.
love behind the scenes,
Buckle up.
Christine. Or Christine behind the scenes. Let's call it that.
Right? Okay. So here we go. Christine. I said, yes. He says, how are you? I said, who is this? He said, we talked a long time ago. I said, I talked to hundreds and hundreds of people a long time ago and currently too. Who is this? He says, I came over one night, LOL.
Oh, God.
Oh, girl.
Well, I should have responded, well, I have hundreds and hundreds who come over one night.
You're like, this isn't making it any easier.
Right. And I was like, okay. So I didn't say anything. He says, how are you again? I said, if you can't tell me who you are, then I'm not going to tell you how I am. He says, I'm sorry. I said, so weird. He then says, don't be mean. Oh,
God.
that got me. So I said, excuse me? A stranger who's admitted to not speaking to me for years refuses to tell me who they are when they're texting me. I said, dude, you're texting me. That makes me feel very uncomfortable. And if that, I said, that is setting a boundary. It does not mean that I'm being mean. It means I'm being safe for myself. Then he responds, sorry. Fuck you, dude. That's what I got to say.
Do you still not know who it is?
No, nor do I ever want to know who that is. These people think that they can, men seem to think that, I don't know if women does this, but this is from my own personal experience. They text and assume you know who the fuck they are. Even when they tell me their name, I don't know who they are. Especially if you're not saved in my phone that literally says John, Dana Point, and your profession. If that shit isn't in there, then I don't know who you are.
Do you have any clue?
No, who knows?
Oh my God, I love it, Christine.
But you know what? I always delete people. Like, if you have a limited amount of time to be in my space and my energy and to enjoy all that is Jada, and if you are not making the grade, I delete you. So I get messages all the time.
Me
like,
too.
hello, beautiful. Hello. I don't know who the fuck you are, sir.
You would delete the contact completely?
Completely.
Yeah,
because
me
it's
too.
irrelevant to me. It's just, I mean, we're not going
Well,
anywhere.
Christine, maybe you should stop doing that though, so that you'll know who these clowns are.
But this is the thing. Think about this. One, if you haven't contacted me, like Jada said, within a certain amount of time, you're irrelevant. You're out of my life. And my fucking iPhone only stores so many phone numbers.
Oh, I see.
And
okay.
I'm not taking up space with someone who hasn't spoken to me in years and years.
I'm not taking up space with someone who's not taking up space with me.
Oh,
exactly. Yeah, you should do something called taking up space. Fucking people. So, listen, I love this topic today, and that's one of the reasons why Janice is here. She is super fascinated by it as well.
As am I.
And interested.
Right?
I want a lesson.
We're talking about sugar baby life today, and I'm super excited about it because I have some experience with it and I have some thoughts on it and some suggestions. But we've got a professional coming on today who has been here before. Brittany Clark is a relationship coach, and she was on episode 74. So that was a while ago. That's good 2.5, almost 3 months ago. And Brittany is a relationship coach who helps her clients find their identity, and they make peace within themselves through sexual exploration, kink, and navigating true love. I love this, Brittany. She believes that there are so many benefits from being able to identify and fulfill your sexual desires. So she comes with this thought of cultivating safe conversations and healing around all those things taboo. And I'm with you because I tried to knock down the barriers of taboo and talk about all things taboo. So let's bring Brittany on and let's have a little chit chat about being a sugar
Hi.
baby. Hi,
Hi.
girlfriend.
Hi.
How's it going, Brittany?
I am good. How are you guys?
We're great.
Good.
We're happy to see your
Good.
beautiful face back here. Thank
Happy
you.
to see you guys. New environment.
So, so Brittany,
Yeah.
Oh my.
how's life in your world these days?
It
Is it
is. It's good. I just moved to a new place, which is why we're all crammed in this room right now. I just turned 30 a
good?
couple
Yay!
weeks ago. Yeah, I
Happy
know.
birthday! Happy birthday!
Thank you. Thank
Nice.
you. It's wild because my oldest sibling turned 31 yesterday, which is
Oh,
like we're very
wow.
close in age. So we were the
I
same
guess
age
so.
for the last couple weeks. He's trying to escape. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I moved to a new city. I live, it's not as far as it was, but where I'm located right now, I am central to about 6 major cities in the US. So I'm like about an hour to two away. So like I live like an hour from Cincinnati, an hour, So
Wow,
so
nice.
yeah, I like it. I love it. That's currently my life. Of course, it's when I talk, the dog decides to get up.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I was
Dogs
just
and
gonna
babies
say,
love to hear mama's voice.
I love how your dog plays ball by himself. It's the fucking cutest thing. So Brittany is here today to talk to us about sugar baby life. Let's get your take on sugar babies and how would you talk to your clients about being a sugar baby?
I think there's so many. Sugar baby life is so interesting. I think a lot of people, like when I see young women who want to get into it, or men, I have men who talk to me as well about it. And they want to get into it. I think a lot of the motive is around money, right? Like a lot of people, that's the initial drive is money. But then when you look at the people who are seeking sugar babies and seeking that relationship, it is for so many different benefits. You have people who want connection. You have people who are married, you have people who are single, you have people who are professionals. I've personally sugar babied for many physicians or business owners, people who are high profile who want the companionship and the connection that they don't get in their everyday life. And so really there's so many different ways to navigate it. I tend to help people find motives outside of money, motives that can benefit you in the long run, whether it's mentorship. I mean, of course, the financial aspect comes with it as well. Like most sugar daddies or sugar moms, they do want to still, financially compensate, but there's so many other benefits that you can get from it. You can meet an entire new network of people throughout it. So I like to start with like getting motives. Like, what is the reason for wanting to pursue this avenue or this lifestyle? I stumbled upon it. I was having a manic episode, and I slept with a guy for the first time when I was 28. And I have previously only had female partners. And then after that, I was like, okay, this isn't bad. Maybe I can sleep with men. And then I dabbled into sugar baby life. And then like my whole world exploded from there. So it's been a very wild but beneficial couple years as a sugar baby. So I have all the tea, all the knowledge, all the things.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Well, I like taking the stigma off of sugar baby because or sugar daddy. I mean, who fucking cares? I think that everybody has, their motives in life for whatever they do, and it's about how they can be within themselves and not anybody else. So if it benefits somebody, then why not? I think there's a lot of men or women out there who want to take care of somebody, and this is a great avenue. And there are people who love to be pampered and taken care of, and why not? And it's just like any other kind of situation. when
I
it
have
comes to
so many questions. I
yeah.
have so many questions. Because I was looking, and I know I was on the episode that you were on before,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
the entire topic was very new to me. Obviously, I had read about it and heard things about it before.
The topic being what? I'm so
Being
sorry.
the whole sugar baby
Oh, that was the
lifestyle.
topic last time.
Oh,
Oh no, it was a while back. It was
Okay.
several episodes back.
we talked with Brittany about exploring your sexuality, and
Yeah.
we said that we were going to bring her back on to talk about sugar baby, and that's where Jade is talking about.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So in looking up certain things and like researching things, so is it more or less, I know some people do it for financial gain. Some people do it as a sexual fetish, which we all have those. Not necessarily this one, but we all have sexual fetishes. So what is like, I guess I don't understand, how does someone go about the life? Like, do you apply for it? Do you is it a whole like online like presence? Like, what does that world look like?
Amazing. Yeah.
I love
First
that.
steps,
I
Brittany.
love that question. Do you apply? Yes. So it's honestly becoming a sugar baby is a lot like just like getting on any dating app. It's a lot like
Mm,
Bumble. It's a lot like Hinge. Like what your typical apps that you're on, it's the same concept. So
Yeah.
when you approach sugar babying, there some people they're new age stuff. There's people who are doing it through Twitter and Instagram now, but there are some very like tried and true ways of seeking sugar daddies or people in that position who are wanting, like Christine said, to give. It's really they come from a place of I want to serve in this way and I want to give in this way and I want to benefit someone's life in this way as they help benefit me as well. And so there, you get on a sugar baby or sugar daddy site and you create a profile just like you would like you were dating. You list your description. The thing that I do love about sugar baby websites are the fact that the description of yourself, there's so much room to detail your profile. There's so much room. There's not, like if you get on like a Bumble or a Hinge, the boxes are very small. You can't add as much detail. They're limited. The characters are limited. When you go on a sugar baby site, you have free reign to write lots and lots of information about yourself, lots of space to put your interests. Now, what I've personally found is that it's hit or miss, especially with men, about how much, just like you would see on Bumble. There are some men who put very little in their profiles and some that detail and are very intentional about what they're putting so that they are finding the right match. But that's based off of, the profiles and the websites. They have a lot of information. So you can filter it out by city. You can look for someone who's far away. You can look for someone who's closer. It's not based off of your specific location like a dating app is, but you can find places. There are things that you can check off. For example, if you have a passport and you're willing to travel with people, you can select that you're passport ready. If you are looking for a mentorship, you can select that you're looking for mentorship. There are so many different ways to find compatibility. And then also, just as if someone was looking for you, you're looking for the same things in them. You're looking at what are they giving, and they're looking at what you're wanting to take as well. So there's so many things, and you just start the conversation that way. So it's very much like a dating app, but more like a website. You can save it to your phone, your home screen, if you want to use it like an app, but it's very much the same concept.
So when it comes to reciprocity, what would you say like some like typical arrangements are?
Yeah, a lot of apps or websites shy away from pay per meeting, which is you'll see that acronym is PPM. So if you ever see that, it's pay per meeting.
Nope, being taken.
So a lot of
So tell us what that is, Brittany.
So PPM is a lot of people shy away from that because PPM is more like we're meeting. The goal is to either have a sexual encounter or some sort of physical encounter, or every time that we meet, I'm going to financially compensate you pretty much. So it can be dinner, right? So it can be a dinner. It can be we're going out to do this event. We're going to the movies or whatever, a date. But they try to shy away from pay per meeting. A lot of sugar daddies will do more of an allowance based. So you, but the beautiful thing is that you come to those terms together. It's not one person making all the rules. It's not one person saying this is what, you know, this is what it's going to be. This is what I'm going to pay. This is what I'm going to allot you. Some people do ask what your, you know, price range is. But a lot of it, sometimes you don't want a financial or a check, right? Sometimes you don't want just a flat fee. Sometimes you want your gas paid for. Sometimes you want tickets to a concert. Sometimes your payment can look so many, you know, different ways. Your payment can be, hey, I want my rent paid. You know, I need help paying 50% of that. You know, it can be so many different things that go into that arrangement. And so it's definitely, it varies what you're getting and what they're giving when you make that initial, you know, transaction with them.
Well, I have a sugar baby story.
Do tell.
A little over 12 years ago, it was about a year and a half after my divorce, and I had been living with a boyfriend, and stopped living together. And I was living in this big house by myself, and I just couldn't afford it. And I didn't have a lot of business coming in for my business at the time. So my friend suggested going through the sugar baby process. And, you know, I was dating a lot. I was like going out with people. I was having sex with people. And he's like, you know what? Just try the sugar baby site. It's not that big a deal. Go for it. So I did try. At the time, it was very limited. Right now, I believe there are like the top nine. I do have the top 9, which we can talk about together. But whew, someone's having an emergency. Hello. Move over, folks. So, essentially I went onto this site and it was kind of weird. This one dude wanted me to sit there on video and obey his every demand to see how like, I don't know, flexible I was, how willing I was to do. It was fucking weird. And I was like, peace out. And then I wound up making a date with somebody, and I met with him, and he was an on-air personality here in Los Angeles. I will not say his name because it makes me gag now. Every time I see him on TV, I just want to barf.
Oh my God, you did not tell me this part of it.
Well, he did not tell me he was married, and I didn't investigate him because I did not know who he was when I met him. And I met with him, and he's like, I'm doing this show thing, and I'm staying at this hotel, and they've got a room for me. Will you meet me there and we'll hang out? So I did, and I went and I met with him, and he just wanted to like screw around, and then he was like, okay, see ya. And I was like, wait a minute, I was coming here to meet you to discuss what we were going to do, and basically he just wanted to have like free sex and walk away. And I was like, ew, gross. And he's gross. So I tried it again, and it was a pilot that would fly in for a specific company, and he would be here once or twice a month, and he wanted someone to spend time to go to dinner with and all this stuff. He also refused to talk to me about details. And I was like, this is not working for me. So I thought, I'm going to give it one more shot. So I met this guy for lunch, and we had lunch, and it was nice. And he's like, hey, there's a. He decided, he's like, why don't we try in the beginning to do what you just said, the pay per meeting. Yep, PPM. And
Jada,
like,
she's getting it down.
I know, Jada's got it.
Oh, yeah, PPM, yeah.
So I said, yeah, okay, that's fine. So he's like, hey, I would love to spend, a little bit more time with you. There's a hotel right behind. Let's go. I was like, yeah, let's do this. And we go, we have a lovely afternoon. And then he gets up and throws money on the table like I'm a fucking whore, and starts to act like, and I got up, I looked at him, and I said, we do not treat women like they're like their property, like you bought and paid for me. I said, keep your fucking money. I don't ever want to see you again. Because I was
Good for
like,
you.
no, you're not going to treat me like I'm some fucking hooker off the street. I thought we were developing like a relationship in this type of way. And it's an arranged situation. It's not like I'm your goddamn girlfriend. You get more out of it than I am. Trust me. So it wound up not working for me. But that was a long time ago, and a lot has changed since then, I'm sure.
But actually, but everything that you've said actually brings back to one of like probably the core things to learn about this lifestyle, which is how do you discuss these agreements? How do you come to these arrangements? Yes. What do you ask for ahead of time? What do you sort ahead of time? What do you sort as you're going? Like, how do you navigate coming into these situations with people?
Well,
Brittany?
and I just want to piggyback to that question, Brittany, for you. This is so loaded. I'm sure Janice and I are
You're gonna have to repeat multiple parts.
But to piggyback off of that, how do you know if you're getting into it that you're expecting that person to pay, or that person is gonna pay you, or is that like a different group or a different, like, how do you figure all of that out? Because I would assume some people, that's just their kinky way of life. Some people just like it because they like it. But then I would also assume that some people like it because there could be a financial gain to it as well, if that makes any sense.
Or that they're getting, the people who are financing it get something meaningful out of it as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's the beautiful thing about like it being an arrangement, and because it's what it truly is, what it is. It's two people who or more who come together and discuss the terms of your relationship, because it's some sugar baby relationships end up becoming like tried and true, like we are together, relationships, and some are definitely just transactional in a lot of ways. And so I think that for me, I encourage everyone to vet before you ever meet someone in person. I mean, your safety is number one priority. And so when you're
what does it mean?
So when you're just like, if you're on a dating app, I would just have lots of conversation. I wouldn't give out my personal. I mean, the beautiful thing about sugar baby apps is that you don't have to use your personal information. I would always create a username. I don't give my real name until I meet someone in person. And that is when we are like, okay, like we're real people, like, I never meet for sex the first time. I have, but I don't. After I got into the lifestyle, I was like, okay, we're not doing that. You learn, you live and you learn. So no, I don't meet for sex the first meet. I always meet in a public place the first time. Some people, I've seen it done both ways, where you can discuss the terms of your arrangement online, where you're like, okay, this is what I'm seeking, this is what you're seeking. I always ask, what are you looking for specifically? I don't, and if you give me a very generic answer, I will come in again and say, no, I need you to clarify exactly what you're looking for. Are you looking for something sexual? Are you looking for someone to go on dates with you? I need you to tell me exactly what it is that you are needing and wanting from me, because there are things that I'm not willing to do, and there are things that I am willing to do. And so it will be a complete waste of time to go into a situation and meet someone in person already knowing, like, and it be a complete, if you guys are not on the same page and you guys don't want the same things. So definitely asking, what are you looking for? The details of that, being specific. I also ask, some people will list it in their profile, but I like to ask, what is your relationship status? Sometimes we can feel like we're asking too many questions, or too many personal questions, or like we're digging too deep. But no, like your safety is at risk as well. Especially as women, sometimes a lot of women engage with men, and so it can feel like we tend to feel less safe with men than we do with women initially. And so when you are engaging with men, it is very important, I think, for you to ask all the details, especially when it comes to your safety. For example, what is your relationship status? Why is this question important? I think because a lot of men on these apps, or I've come across quite a few who are married or in relationships. I'm not going to engage in a
Yes.
situation if your significant other is going to threaten or come after me if they find out about this
Yeah.
arrangement. Things happen. And so you ask them, like, okay, and I have met with men who are married or in relationships, and I don't mind. However, we need to discuss all of this prior to, like, what level of discretion are you seeking? Some men are
Yeah.
very okay with being public with their sugar babies and pampering them and showering them publicly and taking them to the mall or shopping or flying them around the world, which is beautiful. And then there are some people who will not meet in the same city as they live in, right? They'll ask you to drive maybe 30-45 minutes away to meet them. They don't want to be in the same city where they may know people or where they'll be easily recognized. Maybe they're high profile, or maybe they have a few children who are adults who live in the area who they might run into when they're out. So I think ask a lot of questions in your vetting process. Ask anything. Nothing is off the table, because especially if you're expecting me to give you a physical exchange, I have every right to know exactly what I'm getting into with you. And I'm not afraid of it, and I'm not shy about it, and I'm very blunt and direct about it. And I encourage everyone to be the same way.
So, Brittany, when you start this conversation with men and or women, whatever you decide to do on your sugar baby app. So when you go on and you've written some information that you want to know, you're checking out these profiles, you're matching up, you're starting to talk, you're vetting this person. How do you approach the conversation of payment, how you're paid, how much you're paid, things like that? And how can we take off the stigma of you're getting paid to do something? Well, it's like any job as far as I'm concerned.
I agree. I think it is transactional. It is like a job. It is almost equivalent, in my opinion. Like, you're doing this for a lot of sugar babies have full-time income and their lives are paid for, and then some. From being a sugar baby, and so I think a way of approaching it is, I prefer to approach the transactional piece, the financial piece, online. Because that way the awkwardness, I think some people get a little bit awkward about, like, who's around and who's listening, when we're out in public. And so have that conversation online. If you've progressed to a place where you guys are texting or talking on the phone, or even have that phone conversation, a lot of these websites also have built-in, places where you can press the call button and you can have a conversation verbally before. So I would be very direct as females, like, take our power. We have the power to set the terms for ourselves. So I would be asking, I'd ask them, what are you looking to compensate for this? Or what is the exchange, or what are you looking to give? Any of those questions, anything along those lines, help start that conversation, help ease into that conversation. If you're feeling a little bit awkward about it, or if you just don't know, it's just new to you, you can just say, hey, like, what does the exchange look like here? What are you looking to get from me, and what are you looking to give to me as well? And so a lot of people will say, a lot of sugar daddies are new to the scene. Some have had relationships in the past that maybe were long term, and they're looking for something new. So of course it's going to be different than their previous relationship, or they're new for the first time. They don't know anything about the life, and so they they want you to tell them, and so you set those terms for yourself. So I would just pre-think about it and think about. So that when they ask you, you're not a little bit flustered and it's not like, oh, I don't know. But just think about what would be a good number for you. What would be a good exchange for you?
Go ahead, Christine. Sorry. I was just going to ask,
what is the safest way?
Sorry.
Go ahead, Janice.
What is the safest way to accept payments? Like Venmo, PayPal, like, what's good for that?
What's safe?
Yeah, sorry.
I'd always stick with apps. So like Cash App is a good one. You can create, you can change your Cash App username 1,000 times. So like if you are meeting someone and you want to give them your Cash App username today, and then you want your family to Cash App you tomorrow, you can change that username, multiple times, so that you can do it just for this exchange. I'm gonna, get this. A lot. I've had sugar daddies who have put the money in like a thank you card and handed it to me at the end of the date, and they're just like, "This is my exchange."
See, that would be better than the nightstand. Trust me.
I
Yeah,
wanted
Jada.
to just chime in really quickly and say I think it's important to just recognize that it's not solely just about sex,
Right.
because
Uh-huh.
I think
Uh-huh.
when we hear this, that there could be payment or it could be sugar daddy or this, that, and the other, the expectation is that it's sexual.
Right.
But I
Mhm.
know in the research that I've done, and even people that I've talked to that have dabbled in this lifestyle, it's also very much about behaviors. They may just want to be that dominant figure, that daddy male figure. So it's not necessarily sex work involved. So I just think that's important to note, because some people may take it, when we're talking about payment, that you have to
Right.
essentially pay for a sexual behavior to happen, and that's not
Right.
what it's
You can
solely
it can
about.
just be a date. It can be I'm in town and I've had people reach out to me literally and like, "Hey, I'm in town in 2 hours. Would you be willing to go to dinner with me?"
Mm-hmm.
That is all under the umbrella of, if that's where you're meeting them out of the sugar baby, and so it doesn't have to be physical. It doesn't have to be sexual. It can be
Mhm.
just simply companionship. It can be some
Mhm.
people want to just talk to you online and just have someone to listen to. It can be so many different things.
Rebel, our producer, has something she'd love to ask.
Actually, something to input. I like to approach things. There's no secret. I'm in the lifestyle for different things, and I'm totally into this sugar baby thing.
Yeah. Thumbs
I
up, girlfriend.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
approach a lot of things with contracts. Um,
Mm.
I know exactly. We negotiate. We literally sit down and negotiate the contract, and we agree upon things before anything happens,
Mhm.
because it's always nice to know what you're getting into. And that way, once the contract's all written out, hey, it's right there, baby, right there. You said this, and this is what we're doing, and this is how it's going. There's no
Mhm.
questions. You sit down and you literally negotiate. I've even been a mediator between contracts.
Oh, wow.
When they
Nice.
had question on their contract and they were arguing about it, it's like, hey, you need a mediator. I'm right here for you. But I
Oh,
always
cool. We
try
need to
to
have Rebel as a guest.
I know.
Right? Right.
But Rebel, it is true though. It's not necessarily just sexual, because when I was talking to people today about this topic, they automatically assume
Right.
everything has to do with sex, and that's not. I
see.
mean,
That's people who don't have a bigger, a broader expansion of their mind. They only go straight to
right?
sex. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people who occupy my time. They pay for my time.
Mm.
Not
And your
But even
company
if it is all about sex, I mean, these are people who are consenting to it. So I don't know. Maybe they're just, I mean, why is it so much judgment?
I think a
May-
lot of people
Agreed.
confuse sugar baby work with prostitution, and
Yeah.
I think they're not equivalent. So I think that's where our minds go. That's what society has
Can,
taught us to lead ourselves to.
can you, for our listeners, tell us what you think the distinct definition between someone wanting to be a sugar baby and someone being a prostitute?
That would be hard to define. Off the top of my head, off the top of my
But
head.
also, I don't
I'm
understand,
like,
like,
I
what's
don't.
wrong with
Well,
prostitution if that's what a woman wants to do too.
Right.
no, I don't say there's anything wrong with it. I'm saying Brittany just said that people are associating prostitution with sugar baby or sugar daddy or sugar mama or whatever. And I want to know what Brittany's thoughts are on what the distinct difference is.
I think it's really hard for me. I haven't really looked into like the true definition of prostitution. That's not really my lane. But when it comes to sugar babying, I think, like Rebel said, it's contractual. It is an arrangement. It is there's so much that you're gaining, and I from our typical definitions of prostitution, society has taught us to look at it from a very negative standpoint. It is always most of my idea and view and knowledge of prostitution has always it leads away from the consensual part of it, because there are a lot of women who are prostitutes who are not consenting people. But a lot of the sugar baby life is very much like we're coming to an arrangement together as two adult people who
Mhm.
would like to have an exchange of some sort.
Yeah, and sometimes sugar daddies can pay for college tuition, rent, bills. It could be gifts, such as cash or jewelry. There's all kinds of different things. I get it. A lot of people just want companionship
Yeah.
and not just sex, but there is, sex involved. And how many women, and I'm not kidding. I have said this in my head all the time. If I give sex to somebody for free all the time, why wouldn't I consider doing it for an arrangement that benefits me as well? Because in a sexual relationship outside of a relationship, does this make sense? Say I don't have a boyfriend, say I'm just dating and I'm having sex. Most of the time now, men on dating apps don't even want to take you to dinner. They want to just get together and have sex. Where's the fucking benefit for me?
I hear ya.
And it's like, oh, it's one-sided, dude. Trust me, it's one motherfucking sided. And I'd rather, older now and knowing what I know, and it being so many years further into this, that I would probably be much better at it now than I was, 12 years ago. I would prefer to be, if I didn't have my boyfriend, I'd prefer to be a sugar baby.
That's interesting. Is it more because of the why? Why?
For me,
Yeah.
because my time is really valuable. And when I'm not working my ass off to barely make ends meet, if someone wants to spend time with me and they want, to cuddle with me or hold my hand or go on dates or spend time sexually together, I would rather use that as a part-time job than some of the other shit I do for money.
Way back when, there used to be a thing called, your friend or something like that, where people who didn't have friends, they would just get on this and say, hey, I need a friend to go to this baseball game with me.
Rent a friend.
There you go. Something like that, where they pay for your time. There's no strings attached to any of this. You're just providing someone a service, just like any other
very
job.
similar.
Yeah. I think it's go ahead. Sorry.
As far as the prostitution thing, everybody, most of the time, the people who look down on prostitution are those wives who aren't having sex with their husbands, or those church people who like to keep it hidden and then say this stuff in church. That's nothing. Not. Let me go on record. I am not saying anything bad about church people. Please don't email me.
Yeah, I lived in a country for 5 years with complete legalized prostitution, and I've met a lot of really amazing women who absolutely love their jobs, and so I just have a different take on it. I think that it's empowering and just as legitimate and valid of a career choice as anything.
Yeah,
I understand maybe it's important, or like not important, but maybe useful and interesting to make the distinction. But yeah, I just never want to be like anti-sex worker.
Right.
I don't think
has kept people's marriages together, has kept a lot of things, and it's the oldest profession on record.
Yeah, and I don't think it should be illegal. Prostitution should not be illegal.
It should not be.
I like to call it sex work, by the way. I think
Sex work.
prostitution is so
I love that.
Yeah, a little outdated.
But they're
sex
workers. They're working. They're going from whatever their hours are to whatever their hours are.
Can I ask a question about the culture of sugaring? All three of us are older than you are, Brittany. Can you just tell us anything that you know about either like the demographics of the men who are on these sites, the women who are on these sites? I mean, what really does it look like as far as the demographics go?
I think the proportion men to women, sugar dads or sugar moms, I think the men, there's way more men than women that I've encountered. But honestly, I've seen sugar daddies as young as 21 and as old as however old is, So I think it varies. Just like in a dating app, you can filter out ages. You can filter, what you're looking for. And I think also there are some, but that's where the vetting process comes, because you can see a 21-year-old and you may feel initially red flag, right? Oh, that's too young. How are you a sugar daddy? You might have those thoughts, but that's where like the vetting process comes in. But I think there's a lot of men who saturate the sugar daddy arena. Most women that I've personally encountered are more of like the sugar babies, but I think when we say like daddy versus baby, it automatically I feel like implies like one is dominant, one is not. But it can that's not necessarily the dynamic. You can be a submissive sugar daddy, or vice versa, or a dominant sugar baby. Everybody is looking for something different.
I also think that gives the implementation. Wow, hell, I can't speak now. Gives the thought that sugar daddies are older, sugar babies are young and hot. I think that it's all walks of life. I think that there are men out there who want sugar babies that are maybe a little mature, who's curvy, who who
100%.
can have a conversation and make them feel a certain way. It's not just these buxom, big boobed, skinny
Right.
things that are 25. Those aren't the only women that are sugar babies, and sugar daddies aren't all these 70-year-old men who are out to find 25-year-olds.
Right.
It's a big mix. So
It is. You can have any
yeah.
body type. You can have be any age, look any way. And the thing that I love about the sugar baby world is that I feel like I found way more acceptance in the sugar baby world when it comes to body type and ethnicity, whatever. I found way more acceptance there in that pocket of the world than I have in the quote unquote real world. And I think that's because when you're in this dynamic, it's already so quote unquote taboo. It's already so different and atypical of most people's normal day to day. And so when you're there, you're embraced easier. People aren't looking for the shallow, superficial, because a lot of people let's be honest, if we really wanted to just date people, we can go on these apps and find people to date. There are plenty of people out there. But when you're looking for something specific, you're looking for something that you're not getting every single day. And that's the beauty of it. And so you're looked at as like this beautiful gift that you are, and you're looked at for what you can actually contribute and really benefit someone's life. It's not like, oh, I just can, take you out and just waste your time. People really want to benefit from these dynamics. So there's a lot of intention that goes into it, whether you're a sugar baby or sugar daddy or sugar mom or whatever that is. There's so much intentionality that's happening in these dynamics, because people don't want your standard. They want something you are the diamond in the rough, which is, I think, super beautiful about this lifestyle.
We have less than 3 minutes left. So what I'd like to do, this sucks that it goes so fast. I'd like to tell the top 9 sites and what they're for. And then if there's one that stands out to you, Brittany, please tell me. So I'm going to go with number 9, Sugar Daddy Meet. It has a free trial. It says it's the best selection of different types of people. Number 8, Adult Friend Finder. That is also free trial, best for fulfilling sexual fantasies. I'm going to, Ashley Madison is number 7. That's for married couples. Anyway, number 6, Established Men, best for female sugar babies. What's Your Price is number 5, best for casual dating. That one's kind of iffy. Yeah,
more very casual. It's very much like, how much do you want to pay me to go on a date with you today?
Gotcha. Number 4, Rich Meet Beautiful, best for long-term relationships, it says. Do you know anything about that?
I have not heard that one. I've heard of all the other ones. I haven't heard of that
one. Number 3, Seeking.com says that it's best overall luxury dating site.
I love Seeking.
Okay.
I love that one.
Secret Benefits says best for selection of women.
I love Secret Benefits as well.
Okay, and number 1, it says Sugar Daddy, best sugar daddy baby site.
I've not heard that one, but Secret Arrangement and Secret Benefits are like my I've had the most luck and lots of consistency on those two.
Okay. I think that I really looked into each one of these, and I think they're pretty accurate on their what they're saying. Sugar baby or sugar daddy. I think I went on sugar baby a long time ago, and I don't even know if that even exists anymore. I just know that there's sugar daddy and Secret Benefits and Seeking.com are the top 3. If you have any thoughts that you'd like to try sugar baby or be a sugar daddy or a sugar mama, you're welcome to reach out to us, or you can also reach out to Brittany. Brittany, tell us how they can find you, and then we'll go.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram right now at Rebuilding with Brittany. My previous account got deactivated, so right now we're building it back up. So it's Rebuilding with Brittany is where you can find me.
And it's Brittany for those of you who spell Brittany different. So Brittany, thank you for coming on today. I wish we had more time.
Yeah.
And, maybe we can chat and see if maybe there's a follow-up to this, because we didn't get really in depth with it. So I think that it might be important to have a sugar baby life 2 and have you come back, and we can have a list of other questions for you. So if you've not gotten all the information you were looking for today, please reach out to us, or reach out to Rebuild Brittany. Is that what it is?
Rebuilding with Brittany.
Rebuilding with Brittany. Brittany. Thank you for coming, Brittany. We love having you. We'll have you back. And Janice and Jada, it was good to have you both today.
Thank you.
For all of you come to listen to us each week, we hope you come back again next week. Next week is going to be a great one. It's Cosmic Sexuality with Mateas. And Matea is a hot motherfucker, let me tell you. So my boyfriend is really happy to hear that one. Thank you, everyone. And until next week, let's keep it real.
Bye.
Thanks, Brittany.
Bye, friends.
Thanks, Brittany.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends, like and follow us on Instagram at 50 Shades of _bullshit and Facebook at 50 Shades of Bullshit. Thanks so much for listening, and we really hope to see you again next week.